Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Have a happy Thanksgiving from the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. I hope you guys are all enjoying the big bird, or yams, or mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, cranberry sauce, whatever it is that you like to enjoy on Thanksgiving, whether it's a side or the bird itself or some gravy, whatever it is. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you are thankful for the things that you have in your life at the moment. Because most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm a pretty easygoing cat, but most of the time, things are not as bad as they seem. So just be thankful for the people that you have around you. Or if you're doing it by yourself, be thankful that you have presence in the moment, right? Every day's a gift, right? That's why they call it the present. Enjoy every second of it. Be mindful. Be all about it. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Let's talk about this game, because as much as I love to talk about all the big back stuff that I would do on Thanksgiving, this Philadelphia Eagles football game against the Chicago Bears on Friday, Black Friday in particular, all of a sudden became a very, very important game for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We beat Green Bay. We beat Detroit coming out of the bye. We lost to the Dallas Cowboys in a very, very bad way. And I watched the All-22 film because I just got that app now recently. I got NFL Plus, and I got the NFL All-22 look. And it gives you a whole just different perspective on the game. And then now, I texted this to my buddy Justin, who does the Riding the Bench Colts podcast. Check out his channel. He's really smart, really, really good at what he does, much better than what I do over here. But neither here nor there. He's really happy that the Colts are winning. I was telling him the other day, I get why players get so angry at media and fans, because they don't know what they're looking at. And seeing the All-22 film and the view that you get and all the different angles that you could see, you kind of see why players get frustrated with media when you get some criticism that maybe isn't warranted, right? That's why you get the player speak that said, oh, no, listen, you didn't play the game. You don't know. And I get that now. I get that a little bit more now, and I can appreciate that perspective a little bit more. And I would encourage anybody who's critical of people in Philadelphia, whether it's A.J. Brown or Jalen Hurts, watch the All-22, see if you can get that app or find somebody who has it and watch that film. Watch the different viewpoints. You'll probably have a little bit more of an eye-opening experience in regards to the football team on why there's so much criticism behind the quarterback and why there's so much criticism behind this team in general. Now, I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Chicago Bears game. Listen, I said it became a very, very important game after losing to Dallas Cowboys, because the winner of this game basically is the 2 seed, right? At the very, very least, they're basically the 2 seed. And that loss to Dallas made the Rams the 1 seed, putting us at the 2 hole, even though we have the tiebreaker against the Rams. If we end up having the same record, we have to be able to get the same record as the Rams. And the way they look, I don't know if they're going to lose another game this year until the playoffs. And even then, who knows if they're going to lose in the playoffs, right? So this game is for the 2 seed. It's a very, very important game. If Chicago wins, they're going to get the 2 hole, and they're probably going to be locked in for that, because I don't see anybody on their schedule that they can't beat down the stretch here, outside of maybe a team like Detroit or Green Bay. I mean, they get Green Bay twice, which is probably not easy. They get San Francisco. They get Detroit. So, again, important game for Chicago, but if they lose to a team like Philadelphia, nobody's going to kill them, right? Philadelphia, if you lose to the Chicago Bears, all of a sudden, the sky's falling in Philadelphia. Now everybody's going to go after somebody's, they're going to want to go for the jugular here, right? Considering that Dallas Cowboys game. 7 points is what Vegas has the line at home on a windy day, Black Friday. And when you look at this offense in Philadelphia, you got to think to yourself, just like, how on earth does Vegas believe that they're going to be able to outscore Chicago to that degree? But I think it's mainly because they believe that the matchup with Vic Fangio versus Ben Johnson's offense is favoring Philadelphia, right? And say what you want about the Eagles, they know how to play in big games. This is what they do. They've been in big games since 2021, since Jalen Hurts and Sirianni have been in the building. That's what they do. They play in big games. They know what it feels like. And this right here is a big game. At home, Black Friday, prime time, basically Philadelphia Eagles season on whether or not you believe you can make a run in the playoffs or being a one and done team. It relies on Friday. Like that game against Chicago will tell you all you need to know about the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to get into the reasons why it's so important and why I believe ultimately they're going to win this football game in just a few moments. But before we do that, let's introduce you to the show. This is the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. I am your host, Asif Badi, and like you, I am a Birds fan who talks about the Birds, only the Birds and nothing but the Philadelphia Eagles. So please do us a favor here, help us grow this channel organically by shooting this video a thumbs up, commenting your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribing to the channel. Also, check us out on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and leave a 5-star review, because in the end, it doesn't cost you a damn thing to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So please, we thank you for your support on the opposite side of the camera and on the opposite side of the airwaves. Before I get to the breakdown, let me get some high quality H2O. Because I'll tell you, water's an underappreciated beverage. Really, really is. Okay. It's a windy game against the Philadelphia Eagles in Chicago, in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia Eagles season's on the line. Like that is just the bottom line. Their season for what you project them to be is on the line. With an inept offense that we have, because we literally cannot run the ball. Like Saquon Barkley looks like he is just not willing to take on contact, and the offensive line, again, just to defend Saquon Barkley, is just not opening up holes the way they used to. And this passing offense has suffered because of it. And again, it wasn't like it was a prolific passing offense before. It is just really, really tough to watch this offense operate at times. Now, the thing that's inexplicable about the Philadelphia Eagles is that there are so many moments and stretches where you look at them and you're just like, my goodness, what a well-oiled machine this could be if they were able to just have this consistently. And then all of a sudden they just turn to shit, go conservative, or they go, simplistic, and the quarterback can't execute, can't find the read, can't make the throw, the offensive line can't block. I mean, like it is a shit show. And I think because it's such a shit show, the fact that this game is going to be windy and that it's going to be a weather game benefits Philadelphia more so than it does Chicago. So one of the reasons why I think Philadelphia will win this game is the weather. I think the weather plays a role in this game. Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears, again, they play in a windy city. That's literally what they're called. The Chicago Bears. In Chicago, it's the Windy City for a reason. It's very cold and windy up there. I think the way Philadelphia wants to play this game is they want to muck it up. They want to make it ugly, and they want to make it a grinded out type of game. And Ben Johnson's football team, the way he coaches his offense, it's a very timing, rhythm, honestly, an aesthetic offense to a degree. And then Caleb Williams, say what you want about fingernail Caleb Williams. People like to make fun of him for the nail polishing, but the guy can really fling the football. And when he gets rolling out of the pocket and he's able to make plays and buy more time, he can really fling that sucker. And he can hit guys like a Dunze, and he can hit DJ Moore and Burton and, Closton Loveland and Cole Kmet. I mean, these are guys who can play. And then Kyle Monungai, DeAndre Swift at running back. The Chicago Bears have a full offense here that can really do some damage. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a big game, and Philadelphia has been in big games. And Chicago, quite frankly, their schedule does not show that they can hold up in big games, right? A lot of the teams that they've beaten, or rather all the teams that they've beaten, haven't been very good. I mean, they lost to Detroit 52-21. They beat Dallas early on before they got the Quinn and Williams trade. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders. They beat the Washington Commanders. They beat the Saints. They beat Cincinnati, who stinks. They beat the New York Giants, who, again, they beat us, but not a talented football team. They beat the Minnesota Vikings, even though they lost to them in week 1. They got their payback against, the Vikings. And then they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, again, I don't consider a very good team, and they had Mason Rudolph at the helm, right? So Chicago has had some very questionable victories, and all of them came down to the wire, and a lot of them are turnover heavy, and a lot of them are, a little bit of glitz and glamour and a little bit of pixie dust magic, right? So people aren't going to take Chicago seriously. However, I would say the same thing about Philadelphia. Philadelphia's had a little bit of a pixie dust type of season, right? Again, now it's not for, it's not to suggest that Philadelphia is not a good football team. I think they're good. I mean, we beat Dallas week 1, Kansas City, the Rams, obviously, and that was a little bit of a question mark, pixie dust type of game. We beat the Buccaneers. We lost to Denver in a kooky way. We got our ass kicked by the Giants. Minnesota, we, played well against them. Green Bay, we beat them ugly. Detroit, we beat them ugly. And obviously we lost to the Cowboys, and now we got the Bears here. Again, like I said, a little bit of pixie. There's a lot. I guess what I'm saying is that there's a lot of similarities, believe it or not, between these two football teams. You got a coach on, you got quarterbacks who have been really good with the football in terms of not turning it over. Caleb Williams only has 4 interceptions on the year. He has just as many touchdowns as Jalen Hurts does. The Bears have a good running game. DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monungai can run the ball. I think as a team, they have 1,500 yards rushing, 1,600 yards rushing. That's pretty damn good. Good wide receivers in DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Burden. They have Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet. And this offensive line that they have in Chicago is a pretty damn good unit. They really bolstered it up in the offseason, and it's coming to show its effects here. Philadelphia, we already know the talent here. We know what's here. Now people are questioning whether or not it's overrated, but regardless, we know one-on-one situations, these guys are going to win their matchups on the outside. Dallas Goedert's an elite tight end. The offensive line, when healthy, when they're playing to their potential, it's a top unit, but right now they're just not playing like that, and that's part of the problem here. So similarity between both offenses where they want to be able to control the clock and they want to be able to, and they have quarterbacks who are playmakers here, right? On defense, Dennis Allen, really damn good coach, gave Tom Brady a problem when he was in New Orleans and when Tom Brady was in Tampa Bay. Gave Jalen Hurts problems too last season. We beat them 15-12. Like, that was not an easy game for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. It was an ugly game. Like, Jalen Hurts threw for like 380 yards, but like no touchdowns. Right? Saquon Barkley had $150 and 2 tutties on them, right? So, ugly game in that New Orleans Saints game, and I think it's going to be an ugly game in Chicago. Dennis Allen's a good coordinator. So is Vic Fangio. It's a good coordinator. So, it's going to be a matchup of wits here. Can Dennis Allen confuse this Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts enough to buy Caleb Williams enough possessions to go ahead and get go-ahead scores? I'm leaning towards no. I think in this sense, you have to lean towards Vic Fangio versus Caleb Williams being the more favorable matchup versus Dennis Allen and Jalen Hurts, because quite frankly, it really doesn't matter who's at the helm of the defensive side of the ball for Chicago or any other opposing team. The offense just seems to not be very good. Whether or not you believe it's Jalen Hurts or the coaching staff is a whole different conversation, but the offense just objectively is not very good. We struggle against everybody, right? So it's going to be a game where if it becomes an offensive struggle, it's right in Philadelphia's wheelhouse. Like, that is basically the type of game that this team is used to playing. And because it's a windy game, that favors Philadelphia, right? The Ben Johnson offense is an on-time, on-rhythm, very flowing offense. The weather mucks it up. The the confusing of the quarterback by Vic Fangio, who I believe is going to be able to confuse Caleb Williams in this game, is going to muck it up. And then you have Jalen Hurts, and this offense, while inept, does have stretches at times where their playmaking ability and their talent can win you the game. And I think ultimately the 7 points that Vegas is giving for the spread here, I think it's valid. I think it's going to be a 7-point game. I don't think Chicago's going to score more than 17 points in this football game. Being on the road in Philadelphia in a big game where we know Philadelphia has to have it, and, you know, we're coming off a really bad loss, I think the Chicago Bears are going to have their hands full here. Now, it's not to suggest that the Philadelphia Eagles are just going to boat race Chicago, because they're not. They haven't shown the ability to do that, and I don't think they will. I think Chicago's got a good unit on defense. I think Dennis Allen is good enough as a coordinator to get these guys to not get blown out on defense, particularly against this inept offense. And, you know, because it's a weather game and because Philadelphia isn't prolific, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and that favors Philadelphia, in my opinion, albeit Chicago has had a lot of come-from-behind victories. In a close, low-scoring game with big stakes on the line, I'm going to choose guys like Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Mailata and Dickerson. I'm going to choose guys, and Barkley. And Goddard. I'm going to choose guys like that over the guys in Chicago right now. It's a young football team in Chicago, and they are damn good, and they're going to give us fits. So as an Eagles fan, don't sit there and believe that this is going to be a game where we're just going to walk in, take care of business, and go home. I know Vegas has the spread at 7 on FanDuel. I'm taking the points because I think that's way too high. I think that's a really, really high score, albeit my score prediction was 24-17. I think Chicago will cover, but the uglier this game gets, the more it favors Philadelphia. And it's going to be ugly because this offense stinks. We turned it over so much last game. They're going to just be more cautious about not turning the ball over. They're not going to throw it because of the weather. And it's going to be a matter of which team's going to be able to get it going on the ground. If Jalen Hurts uses his wheels himself, along with getting more touches for Tank Bigsby, I think Philadelphia is going to be able to get more on the ground than Chicago, even though Chicago can run the football. You got to the team that gets the lead first is going to win this game, and I think Philadelphia is going to get a lead in this game. And because of that, I'm picking the score 24-17. Low-scoring game, like I mentioned, in prime time, in a game where you got to have it. I think Philadelphia just has too much firepower and too much veterans on the offensive side and even the defensive side of the ball to be able to fold the game against Chicago. So that's my score prediction. That's what I got. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's very late in the evening. I decided to watch and record this late because I was watching and fascinated by the All-22 film. So I just kept watching film. Really, really cool insight. I would highly recommend anybody who can afford it to go ahead and do it. But yes, Chicago's losing this game 24-17. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will see you back here next time for the reactionary episode of the Chicago Bears Philadelphia Eagles football game on Friday at the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast.
Hey! Thank you so much for watching the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. If you want to continue to support the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Riding the Bench Eagles Pod. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us next time here at the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast.